Engineers Week is dedicated to ensuring a diverse and well-educated future engineering workforce by increasing understanding and interest in engineering and technology careers. To celebrate, we've brought together 4 beta engineers to discuss their background, current work, and advice for aspiring engineers. My name is Amy Couture. I'm the Director of Marketing at Beta, and I'll be moderating this panel. Now, let's meet our engineers.
Hi, my name is Pete Nadowich. I am currently a project engineer. I've been working at Beta for about 5 years now, and I went to URI, graduated with a bachelor's degree in civil engineering. And currently I am doing a lot of work in Bristol, Rhode Island, more specifically at the wastewater treatment facility. And I've been doing that for about 2 years now.
Hi, my name is Jacqueline Centracchio. I'm a project manager in the transportation department with a primary focus on anything traffic related. I have about 20 years experience and almost 15 of them have been at Beta. I also went to URI. We got the bachelor's degree in civil and environmental engineering.
Hi, I'm Chris Turgeon. I got my bachelor's degree at University of New Hampshire. I've been at Beta for 11 years now, and all 11 years of my career. And I'm currently a project manager, and my background is mostly in drainage and roadway design.
I'm Jamie Payne. I've been with Beta now for almost 4 years. I'm an engineer with Beta. I got my degree from UMass Dartmouth in civil engineering, and I'm currently in the water and wastewater group, primarily focusing on wastewater design.
Thanks. eWeek focuses on inspiring the next generation of engineers. What is it that inspired you to become an engineer? Jamie?
So actually, engineering was not my original major when I went to school. So I hold 2 bachelor's degrees. My first was in finance, and I didn't like the work that I was doing once I graduated. And I was always good at like math and science, and so I wanted to have like a more meaningful impact with what I did with my career. So I ended up going back to school for engineering and haven't looked back.
Interesting. How about you, Chris?
So I actually, I was a typical 18-year-old, didn't really know what I wanted to do, to be honest. But basically, I always had an interest in, kind of figuring out how things work, problem solving, and a lot of critical thinking, and that was pretty much my strong suits, growing up. So I just figured it would be a good fit. And as for civil engineering, I've always been interested in large construction projects. So I thought that this would be a good fit for me as I was going into college and starting my career.
What about you, Pete?
So similar to Chris, when I was 18 and looking towards my future, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do, but I always kind of leaned into architecture, and I quickly learned that field was not for me. I am not very artistic, and it did not fit me. So my family became a big inspiration. My grandfather was a civil engineer and shared with me a lot of his firsthand experiences, and just from his stories and crossover between architecture, I started going down that path and looking at it when I was looking into schools, and the rest kind of became history.
Jacqueline?
I have an older cousin. She's about 18 years older than me, and I really looked up to her when I was younger. And then she went to WPI and became an engineer, and I thought it was a pretty interesting field, and I was up for the challenge. And then I had looked into different types of engineering at the library one day and gravitated towards civil engineering because as part of that job, you get to be in the office and in the field. And, I knew I didn't want to be in the office all day. So that's how I became an engineer.
Great. A few of you mentioned having strengths in science and math. What other skills and strengths do you think make a good engineer? Jamie?
So definitely like communication and like client service skills. We interact with people on the daily, whether that's just like our coworkers, clients, even the general public, if we're doing like public hearings, stuff like that. So being able to communicate effectively and efficiently to like a wide range of audiences is really important. And then also just from the client standpoint, understanding like what they want or what they need and being able to deliver on that.
Yeah, also strong writing skills is important. I don't think that was mentioned. And if you have an interest in traffic signals, a computer knowledge background would also be very beneficial.
Great. This year's theme is Reimagining the Impossible and asks us to celebrate how engineers make a difference in the world. Can you talk about the difference beta engineers make in our communities? Pete?
So I work in the water and wastewater department here at Beta, and we do a lot of work with wastewater treatment facilities to collection systems, rehabilitation and implementation of pump stations. And these are very vital and important to the communities because they not only collect but treat wastewater within the communities, which is very important for the community itself and also the environment.
Thanks. Chris?
So Beta has a sustainability and climate resiliency committee, which I am a committee member of. And the whole idea of the committee is to incorporate sustainable design and climate resiliency into our designs. And for instance, you know, I work on a lot of stormwater and drainage projects. And as part of that, we will incorporate a sustainable design whereas we can mitigate flooding in communities and you know, treat stormwater for water quality and you know, and help improve our groundwater and surface water resources.
Jacqueline, is there a specific project that you can think of?
Yeah, so we've worked on several traffic calming projects, which helps to slow speeds down and also deter cut-through traffic through neighborhoods, which creates an overall safer environment for all involved. And we did do a pretty long corridor project in the town of Westwood, Mass. And we implemented several different types of traffic calming, which included, you know, landscape medians, narrowing down the roadway, extending the curb line to, you know, reduce speeds of turning vehicles. And it was quite a successful project.
Thanks. Unfortunately, there are many kids who don't know any engineers or don't understand what they do, which leads to the assumption that engineers just sit in a cubicle doing math all day, which I think you mentioned, Jacqueline. What would you tell those kids? Pete?
I would say there is a lot of work that you do in your cubicle, but it's not a lot of math like you might think it is. There definitely is math, and you're definitely doing calculations, but there's a lot more to it. You know, we do a lot of design, and that leads to construction. So what's really interesting is there is a lot of field work associated with it. Many fields of engineering, just in general. So you get to, a lot of the times, you know, design something specific, but you can also see that come to be and actually be constructed in the field.
Just to kind of piggyback on what Pete was saying, I would say that like I can sometimes spend 50% or more of my time out in the field, and that's, you know, if we're going to collect water samples, or, you know, like Pete said, if we're, you know, trench side on a construction site, you know, we're seeing our designs get implemented. So it's not just sitting at the desk and doing CAD work or anything like that. It's a good mix of both.
Great.
And if you're in the structural group, you might want to bring your waders because you might be taking a dive into the river. So
Looking under some bridges. So having a mentor can provide invaluable support and guidance to a young engineer. Can you talk about the importance of having a mentor in college and maybe early on in your career, Chris?
I honestly, it really does help if you have even high school, college, especially young in your career, when you're young in your career, to have a good mentor, whether that be a peer that's a little older than you and has more experience, or someone who has a lot of experience over you, because you know, those are the people that you lean on and look for guidance. Because there's you know, I've been doing this for 11 years and I still learn new stuff. So someone there to help you learn the basics and the fundamentals early on really sets you up for a good foundation later on.
Great. Jamie, I know you're involved in some professional organizations, and maybe you can talk a little bit about the mentorship opportunities that those offer.
Sure. So I am currently a part of NUEA, which is the New England Water and Environmental Association. And they do have a mentorship program, which I signed up for as a young professional. And they basically partner you with a mentor within the industry, not necessarily like within your own company, but somebody that could even be on like the operations side of things, which is cool to get a new perspective of it. But yeah, having somebody that you can talk to about work and even non-work related things within the industry it's invaluable.
Agreed. Pete, what do you enjoy most about your work?
I would say it's a constant challenge for yourself where you're always learning. You know, I'm still pretty new here, being here for 5 years, but from day one till today, you become more implemented in projects, and or more involved in projects. And from learning CAD to learning how to deal with contractors and clients, is a lot of these things you don't necessarily learn in school. And it's like every day you're learning something new. It's a new experience.
Jacqueline?
I really enjoy working together with my coworkers and also our clients to come up with the best project possible and going through the troubleshooting with them.
Great. What are some ways that engineers can help grade school and high school students discover the exciting world of engineering?
I think getting an interest early on for high school students and younger is key, and a lot of it I think has to do with tying in, you know, your mathematics and science and physical science classes with you know, something that can be applied in real world, because that's basically what engineering is. I think tying those conceptual fundamentals to a good real world application will help gain a lot of interest for the younger generations.
Jacqueline?
I have coached my daughter's Lego team for a few years, and also her robotics team. So that really, that's an elementary school level into middle school. And I've also gone to my old high school on career days and talked about my job and the engineering field in general.
So I want to thank you for taking the time to talk to me today. We've covered a lot of really good information. I'd like to close with one final question for each of you. What is something you've learned in your career that you wish you could go back and tell your younger self?
So definitely advocating for yourself. And that's something that I have learned more recently rather than early on in my career. So if I could go back, I would definitely tell myself that, just because you're in charge of your own life. So if you want to be successful and you want to move up in your career, you need to make that happen, because there will be people that will help you along the way and, you know, give you boost that you need, but you have to be the one that takes advantage and seeks those opportunities out.
Very true. Jacqueline?
I would say, you know, if you're high school and college, to have different internships, experience different companies, maybe even different types of engineering, if you don't know exactly what you want to do. That will save you from changing later in life if you choose a different path. And just as Jamie said, be your own advocate. It's really important. If there are certain projects that you want to work on, you know, when you're a young engineer, you know, just let the people know that need to know and be able to work on those projects.
Great advice. Chris?
If I were to tell my younger self, I would say be open to constructive criticism and listen to people who have more experience than you.
Pete?
This is a tricky question, but when I look back to when I was, you know, trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my career, it was a stressful thing. You're a young age with not a lot of experience, and you want to make the best decision for yourself. So the best thing I can say is, you know, definitely stress about it, because it's gonna motivate you, but get involved and try to get as much experience as you can, whether it's through jobs or opportunities within your school, whether it's high school, even college, because you're gonna find a path. And if you have interests, things that you enjoy doing and that you can give back to the community and the world, and you'll be fine.
Okay, well, thank you again for joining me.
Thank you.
Thank you.